Good evening everyone and welcome along to FRL. We are here for F1. It is Season 13, Round 15 of the Championship as we take in the Russian Grand Prix from the Sochi Autodrome. My name is James. I'm going to be taking to the stream as always on a Tuesday night, and joining me in the commentary box is the man of many names. It's Mr. Jack Segel, otherwise known as Bomb Panther, otherwise known as Glow Sticks. How you doing?
I'm alright, mate. Thank you for having me. How are you doing today, James?
I'm doing really well. It's fantastic, of course, to have you alongside me in the commentary box. And for those that are not aware, Mr. Bomb Planter here has been a part of FRL for a good 2 or 3 years, and it's ages since we spoke, of course. And ages, actually, this is our first commentary, I believe, together as well, which I think makes it all the more important. And, of course, we have got on-track action coming up for you for the Russian Grand Prix. And looking at the standings before we get going into everything that's going to be happening, we have got a minute's tribute as well to Sir Frank Williams coming up very shortly, but Baraka leading the championship on 201 points, Jensen in second on 190, 11 points separating them coming into Russia. Lou in third on 113, Nathan in fourth on 102, Zero fifth on 94, Rocco sixth on 74, Macho seventh on 73, Hamilton in eighth on 60, Brock in ninth on 51, and Yona ran off the top 10 on 49 points. So Baraka and Jensen have been to and fro, I think, throughout this season. Obviously, Jensen outscored Baraka the last three races. In fact, Jensen has outscored Baraka. Is the ball in his court?
I'm not sure. Coming into Russia, it is such a difficult track. I think the drivers are really going to have to attack the track, try and get pole. And I reckon whoever gets second or third are going to have the slipstream and the advantage going into turn one.
Yeah, definitely. I think Baraka obviously has held his own so far this season. I mean, looking at the wins that we've got, Jensen's only had 2 wins, Baraka's had 3, and Baraka's came earlier on in the season. Jensen's last win, of course, was in Italy at Monza, so that was literally only 2 or 3 races ago, and that is why I think Baraka is now under pressure to try and deliver on track where it really matters, and the Spaniard, of course, will be hoping for a better result tonight. Looking at the constructors as well, and I'm just going to get them up very soon. Alfa Romeo lead the way quite comfortably still on 283 points. AlphaTauri in second on 226, McLaren in third on 169, Red Bull in fourth on 149, Alpine fifth on 140, then it's Mercedes in sixth on 137, Haas in seventh on 112, Aston Martin eighth on 103, Williams in ninth on 66, and Ferrari in 10th on 39 points. And once again, Alfa Romeo, 43 points they outscored. They scored in Imola last week. AlphaTauri only 15. So Alfa Romeo, both Macho and Jensen, seem to be the most consistent team so far.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the standings. I've not really looked into F1 much, but looking at the standings, it does look really good for Alfa Romeo. They might have this in the bag, but they still got to watch out for AlphaTauri. They could be a threat trying to take back first.
Yeah, AlphaTauri, of course, represented by Baraka and, if I'm tempted to say, Yona, I believe. No, he's in the Red Bull. That is the decipher of the colour schemes there between the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri. Baraka, though, 201 points. He's had to do it his own, really. There's been no other teammate around him, and it just comes to show how quick the Spaniard is. Of course, PSGL driver alongside Jensen, who was obviously promoted to PSGL F2 as well. And Baraka, only 11 points coming into tonight ahead of Jensen. So that is the battle we're all going to be talking about. I mean, further down the field as well, Lou in third on 113, Nathan fourth on 102. Nathan has probably had, arguably, the best form to date so far. Nathan on 102 points. I wouldn't actually discount him out of the race win here, because he finished third in LOE a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Again, not really watch them kind of guys, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm glad you will. I'm glad you will. I've literally seen the standings, just checking up on it, and yeah, he did finish third around here. Jensen actually DNF'd in LOE around here, so Jensen hopefully we'll be hoping for better form as we get, of course, in towards tonight. T-Hawk, by the way, saying in the comments section, and good evening to everyone that is tuning in, of course, for FRL F1 tonight. T-Hawk saying 1,020 days since I joined this league, and let's have a good race. And I think the drivers now beginning to get ready within the lobby. They are readying up. We've got 16 drivers here ready to do battle, of course, around the Sochi Autodrome. 5.8 kilometers in circuit, 3.4 mile, 53 laps normally in a full race distance, 27 laps as you can see on the left hand side of your screen, and hopefully we're in for an absolute fantastic race. But of course, before we begin, we are going to have to pay tribute, of course, to the legend that was Sir Frank Williams. And Sir Frank was a pioneer of Formula 1. He built up the Williams team from scratch in the late 1960s and dominated the sport for the next 2 decades. Underneath his tenureship, alongside his loving family, Williams were guided to 7 Drivers' World Championships, along with 9 Constructors' Championships. Sir Frank overcame the most difficult of challenges in his life, including that car crash in 1986, to make his name as an F1 legend, and his name will forever be etched in the history of the sport. And Sir Frank Williams is a true pioneer, an icon of the sport. And now we will pay tribute with a minute's silence to the legend that was Sir Frank Williams. And that was a tribute to the legend. That was Sir Frank Williams. And we are, of course, here for the Russian Grand Prix. Nearly a year on, in fact, to Sir Frank Williams' last ever Grand Prix race as a team principal, of course, alongside his loving family. Checo was the first man out on track. I did see him leave the pit lane a little bit too early, is according to the rules that was set. But Checo is the first man out on track, and he'll be hoping for a good lap. And, noticeably, he's on that sort of medium compound tyre.
Yeah, wanting to get nice early laps. Maybe not practicing, just trying to get used to the medium tire for the race. Don't know how many laps they do, but maybe like 2 or 3, depends on how many laps of fuel he has.
Yeah, I think honestly, drivers tend to go for around a 1-lap run. I think, including obviously their out lap and their in lap, it's 3 laps worth of fuel. But they only tend to go for 1 lap, and I think that's all you need around here, unless you're the sort of drivers that, of course, go on that sort of medium compound tyre and then aim to improve as the session goes on. And I think this is what we're going to see with Checo on the run down in towards turn number 12 and then through the left-hander of turn 13. Other drivers out on track, of course. Jensen is out on track, Nathan out on track. Be interesting to see, of course, how they get on. But the Bulgarian, the mighty Bulgarian, is coming around the final couple of corners for National Checo, and he's coming towards the final 2 corners of turn 17 and 18. And we better go on board with National Checo. I'll remove the timing off to the left-hand side, and you can see now riding on board with him as he comes around the final corner through turn 18 and now starts us off on this lap. Expect lap times around here on a set of mediums for around the 132, 133 mark, I would imagine, as he now comes out of the kink through turn 1 and then down in towards the straight of turns 2 and 3. Another arena to the right hand side there. I'll try and pick out some of the landmarks as we go along of the Olympic Park circuit, but Checo there coming through this lovely hairpin. This is honestly so great. Coming through the left hander of turn 4 and then of course in towards the right hander of turn 5. Fish Stadium off the left-hand side. That's where they host the Olympic opening ceremony, and the ice hockey arena to the left-hand side there as well. As Chesil comes through the end of the first sector, 33.1 through the first sector from Bulgarian, looking clean and neat. He comes through now in towards the complex of turn 7 through this right-hander. Catch the curve there. You might end up spinning like I did in time trials. Now Chesil comes up in towards turn 8 and 9, and then in adjacent towards the Olympic Village, there is turn 10. He comes towards turn 10 now as he flies through the right-hander. Looking very nice indeed. Got caught on the sausage curve there, so just degrades the run now, running down in towards the final couple of corners in this middle sector. And Chesil looking good in this middle sector. 104.8 through the middle sector from Bulgarian. Just backed off the throttle there, slightly down the straight, but in towards turn 12, then towards turn 13. The roller coaster on the right-hand side there. And now in towards the left-hander of 15, and then in towards turn 16, the right-hander. I think I've miscounted the corners, by the way, if we've gone along. Hopefully you can ignore that. But Chesil's coming around the final couple of corners in towards turn 17, and then in towards turn 18. That is a lap of the Russian Grand Prix circuit. And do you know what? He's even quicker than what I even thought. A 1:31.1 to start us off the night.
Wow, really quick from Chesil on the medium compounded tire. Yeah, really clean. But I reckon he could go a little bit quicker on the pair of fresh soft tires.
Yeah, Jensen's coming around the final couple of corners as well. He's looking quite quick. Of course, our championship second, I should say. 500's behind Chesil. Chesil normally has a good one-shot qualifying, like a one-lap pace in qualifying. And the Bulgarians out on top. Jensen there in second. Zabel there in third. However, Henry on that sort of soft compounded tyres goes quickest with a 1:30.5. And you'll see as the times go on, Nathan is coming around. Oh, he's actually just started up on a lap. I think he invalidated on his last lap. Macho, though, has gone top. 1:30.5. We should be seeing lap time probably aiming towards the low 1:30s, I think, for pole position.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm gonna say some facts about the Sochi Autodrome in Sochi, obviously. The first Grand Prix was held in 2014. Number of laps in the real life Grand Prix would be 53, but tonight we have 27 laps. The circuit length is 5.8 kilometers. The lap record is set by Sir Lewis Hamilton in 2019 at 1:35.7. I reckon these drivers can maybe set a 1:35 as well. It just depends. The track was designed by Herman Tilke. It is effectively a street circuit, evolving out of the internal roads of the park built for the 2014 Winter Olympics.
Indeed. Very good factual knowledge there. It's totally because I haven't given you a link to all of the facts coming into tonight. Macho Load on top, Henry in second, Hiona in third, Baby Kyra in fourth. Good lap times actually coming in. Rocco was there on a lap. He's coming through the end of the middle sector now. 104.4 through the middle sector for Rocco. Now coming down in towards turn 12, and then through the left-handers of 13, and then through 14. Looking quite good on the power there from the McLaren. He looks as if he's got this stabilised setup on, which of course is what you need around the Sochi Autodrome. And as Jack said, obviously, it is because it's a Herman Tilke design track, and the Herman Tilke design tracks keep on coming. Of course, Jeddah is one of them coming up in real life, and that'll be very interesting indeed. As Rocco goes third, 30.6 on a set of soft compounded tyres. I'm looking at Yona though and thinking a 1:30.8 on a set of mediums. He must be mad to set that sort of lap. Really good, and he's only 3/10 off pole.
Yeah, that's really quick on a pair of medium. Of course, just Cummins just ran out of fuel. But, yeah, pretty decent lap. Mentos goes 9th with a 1:31.3. I reckon he can improve. Them tires are 2 laps old. He's going to come into the pits of this lap. But yeah, Lou, probably invalidated his last lap as well. I'm looking from him maybe a 1:31, maybe a high 30. But yeah, drivers could, yeah, as you said, set a low 30 maybe, and go into the 29s. I reckon Jonah could go into the 29s. It's just whether he does good luck and not invalid.
Yeah, hopefully so. I think, honestly, well, as the track evolves, we should see lap times go in and around the 1:30.1, 1:30.2 margin. Even you could get a high 1:29 around here, as Montana did when I last commentated around here. Of course, Montana's not in FRL, so if you're wondering where he is, he's not in FRL whatsoever. But Laser is, and Laser is a man that I know very well indeed. He has been in TTML in the past, and of course TTML I commentate on a Thursday and of course on a Sunday night now. And And Laser is one of those drivers, the Brit, who was very quick. He has set up his own team, VFR. If I got that name right, it'd be great. But Laser coming through in towards turn number 1 now, and he's going to set us off on this lap. The McLaren hoping to provide a really good result. Laser, I think, has got no assist, if I'm not mistaken, since the last time I commentated on him. So I'll be hoping to try and get a good lap in as it comes through turns 2 and 3 into the left-hander of turn 4. And he's not looking too bad. This 180-degree hairpin, I love this corner, as you really take the camber of the corner in. Fish Stadium off the left-hand side, you get the car rotated in for turn 5, and Laser now coming to the end of the first sector. It's not too bad, a 32.9 through the end of the first sector. He's looking quite quick.
Yeah, he is. Coming up to turn 7, careful not to clip the curb too hard. Really nice and clean for that, coming through turn 8 and into turn 9. Looks like a decent lap so far, braking just after this 15-meter board, coming through this sweeping turn 8 and no, turn 11 even, and turn 12. Braking for the hard turn 13 where Sainz had a crash in 2015. Yep, pretty decent middle sector time as well. Coming into turn 15 and turn 16 now. Looks like a decent lap.
He's coming on, yeah, we're right on board with him still, coming through the final 2 corners, and Laser, I think he's going to go quickest here. He comes around the final corner, to the line, never in doubt, to 130.506, and when a prediction I make comes right, I normally damn well mean it. Laser out on top, Macho in second, Henry in third, and to be honest, top 3 covered by 700ths of a second dead on. Rocco only in behind by about 700ths of a second himself. So the top 4 only separated by a 10.5 of a second, and it is quite close qualifying around here. Nathan, I'm picking on board. Oh, as I literally go on board with him, he's just invalidated his lap coming off through turn number 4. So Nathan invalidates coming out of turn 5. I think it was the right-hander. And Nathan has invalidated his lap. But what is Jensen doing? Isn't he now on a set of soft compound tyres? He is! And he's just invalidated as I go on board with him as well. I swear I'm a curse tonight.
That's really unfortunate from Jason. Jensen. Sorry. But yeah. Really unfortunate from him. Is there anyone else on the lap?
There is Yona. Yeah, Yona's a 10th up. He's coming through the first sector. I'm not sure if anybody's furthest on. I think Cheto was, but he's invalid. And I'm not sure if anyone else is further on.
No, I don't think so either. Unless, there's a spinner. I've seen a spinner. It's Bono. Backwards.
He was improving as well. 200s up through the end of the first sector, and he spun, coming through what I like to call car killer corner around here. Turn 9 through the left-hander. If you get caught on that curb, it will send you spinning. And luckily for Bono, I don't think he's got any damage on that car. So that's at least a plus. He can continue on. Obviously, he might decide to come back into the pit lane. Rocco was not on a lap. Jensen is not either. Just trying to see who I was on board with, actually. It was Yona I was on board with, and he's 4/10 up through the end of the middle sector. To the line, goes quickest, 30.2, so we're already in that realm of the track evolving. Yona, 30.2, lays the gauntlet down with 6 minutes to go.
Really nice, and Cheto goes up to 3rd.
Yeah, really nice lap by the Bulgarian as well, 130.5. He literally gets in there between Laser and Macho, and it's only 6,000ths of a second actually separating Cheto and Macho, so not looking too bad. Rocco at 10th up through the first sector. Kaya, I don't think, is on a lap. Jensen, however, is. He's 900ths up through the end of the middle sector, or towards the end of the middle sector he comes, through turn 9, in towards the right-hander of turn 10. Baraka hasn't set a lap. As soon as I say that, he goes pole, 30.1. This is why I should ride a ball with Baraka more often. Jensen, though, is he going to respond on this lap? It's 4.2 through the middle sector. He's 6/10 up. If he finds a good 4 or 5/10 here, he could be on provisional pole position, and Baraka could be now looking in his rear mirrors thinking, Jensen, if you set this lap, you're going to be having me possibly down in towards turn 2. But Jensen now laying it all on the line, coming down in towards 17, and then through the right-hander of turn 18, looking very quick through there, committed as anything. Jensen to the line. He goes 3rd in the end, and that was his 2nd lap on that sort of soft compound tyre with a low fuel run. Not a bad lap from Jensen, but not beating Baraka, which is a little bit of a shock.
Yeah, Mantos coming through the final parts of the corner, coming through the sweeping turn 17 and into turn 18, which is the final corner. up to the line, I could see this. Yep, 11th. Pretty decent lap from Mentos.
Yeah, not bad lap there at all from Mentos. Of course, he is one of our... Can I call him a slower driver in this division? Yeah, I can, probably, and just get about away with it. Mentos is probably one of those guys that is a little bit less experienced than the majority of this field. He's got Rocco ahead of him, and Rocco's only 3/10 ahead of him, so Rocco, very experienced. Mentos, I think, just got to try and adapt. Of course, he has joined NRX from IFR. He was an IFR Academy driver, now has joined NRX, and he seems to be doing quite well with them since his recent move. And Mentos there in 11th position, proving that, of course, that he can try and do that. T-Hawk, by the way, is also, or just starting up on a lap. He's got a low fuel at the minute. And this is what is known as his last dance, because this is his last ever race in FRL. And of course, at the end of the stream, we'll be broadcasting a 3-lap race that everyone is going to pay tribute. They're going to do donuts and everything to celebrate what we could call a fallen hero in FRL. Remember what happened with Ball Boy as well back in the day?
Of course, I think it was quite high up in the F2 Championship. That was got promoted to F1 this season, obviously. But yeah, also GT Sports Season 1 Championship. Me and him had some great battles back in the past. Me and him drag racing in the Mount Panorama up to the line as Nathan invalidates, and that looked like a pretty decent lap from Nathan. But yeah, me and T-Hawk, we had some great battles, and I'll miss him. He is such a great driver.
Yeah, just to surround why he's actually leaving FRL, he's joining the army. He's joining the German army, which I think is absolutely commendable, and we thank him well, now, for his service for Germany, because honestly I think it's a fantastic thing, going to serve his own country, which is brilliant. He's getting all the training. As Zero was gone for a spin, as we ride on board with him. Zero goes for a spin coming through the exit of turn 10, so no rear damage on the car. However, he won't be happy with that. I think he's probably going to come back into the pit lane, one would imagine, with only 2 3/4 minutes to go. Barakarad on top, Yona second, Jensen in third. Yona, by the way, only improved 6/10 of a second from that set of mediums to set a soft compound tire lap, and he'll be hoping to try and get a bigger improvement, I think, and the Red Bull will be hoping, obviously, he can outgun Baraka, possibly for pole position.
Yeah. Harmon coming through the final corners now. I think he'll be the first one to start a lap, actually. Yeah, he is. Coming through turn 1, of course, really, really fast. There's not really much to say until you reach the hard braking zone of turn 2 and turn 3. You can invalidate there, but yeah, as Jen said, has been saying, that this sweeping turn 3 or 4 really nice to get right. Coming through, and he's a wee bit wide. I don't know if he doesn't get invalidated. Really lucky for him. 33.0 for first sector. Coming through turn 6 and turn 7. Oh, we invalid. Cut the corner a bit too much there. Trying to find so much time.
I think, honestly, he should have backed out of his lap when he went about 20 yards wide coming through turn 5. Harmon, though, really pushing the limits, but you can do that around turn 5. You can actually not invalidate, back off the throttle on the outside. It is a well-known track limit glitch actually in this game, where you can just back off the throttle, let off the power, and Harmon now down in plumb last in 16th position as Nathan went second with a 30.1. So good lap from Nathan, of course, finished third. He won LOE a couple of weeks ago. Yona, however, on a lap as well.
Macho getting slipstream from Jensen.
Yeah,
This
Macho
should help him to fight for pole.
He's 4,000s up through the first sector. He's only a 10.5 up, however, through the middle sector. And I think that slipstream has more hindered him than helped him, to be honest. We'll see this final sector. As we ride on board with him, he is going to be one of the first men to come around to set a lap time. I think T-Hawk is just in front of him setting onto a lap. But Macho is now on a lap, still in towards turn 17 and 18 we go. Yona, I'm not sure if he's coming up to a lot of traffic. I think Yona, looking at that mini-map, as Macho comes to the line, and he goes 5th. In the end, not really a big improvement. I don't think he even changed his position in the end. Yona 400's up and he's invalidated, so Yona is not going to get a lap in. I think we're really all the lines on. Jensen possibly setting pole position and getting ahead of Baraka, because that's the only real chance I think he's got. Cheto was a 10th up through the first sector, and he could be a one to watch out for as well.
Yeah, Cheto coming through with his turn 10. I've not got the map in front of me now, so I'm just guessing the turns. Coming through the turn 13, 12. 3 tenths up. Yeah, this could be a contention for top 5 perhaps. But Jonas went into the pits.
Yeah, Yona has got into the pits. I think Mentos has just crashed coming through turn 3 as well, so Mentos is not going to be improving. Cheto, however, the Bulgarian, is coming around the final couple of corners. He does normally improve big time in terms of his qualifying performances. The Bulgarian out of the final corner runs to the line, and he goes second. A good improvement by Cheto. If he found a 10th more, he would have been on pole. Baraka through the first sector of 6,000 down as Kaya comes in and trumps the whole lot of them. A 30.1 from him. Nathan across the line, not going to be sending a lap, but Jensen is. Jensen's coming around the final couple of corners now on that low fuel run. He's in 6th position. Macho gave him slipstream, I think, down the straight as well. Has it helped him enough though? Jensen around the final corner. Is he going to come across the line to get pole position? Runs around the final corner to the line, and he does. 30 flat. Baraka 300 down. He's actually run out of fuel, I think, or he's just backed off his lap completely, and Baraka is not improving. So Jensen, otherwise Lou, is into the pit lane. That's the end of qualifying. Jensen has stolen pole position, and he needed that in terms of the championship. Baraka is starting 3rd. Jensen out on top. Kaya 2nd. Baraka in 3rd. And look at the top 5. So it would be like 10th and a half.
But yeah, really impressive from Jensen. Only 1,000 off getting into the 129s, which I thought they would have got in. But yeah, really good qualifying. But will he keep his first place going into turn 2? Because they've got, of course, the championship leader Baraka and Cheto behind him.
I think, honestly, Jensen is on the dirty side of the grid, if I'm not mistaken, and he's going to be trumped by Kaya, by Baraka in behind, and they're going to get the run down and towards the run. So everything like real life in the dry race, obviously, that we had, and then it transitioned, of course, into Inters. P1 will probably have a bad start, and everyone in behind are going to be rushing to try and get the lead down in towards turn 2. The right-hander, of course, turn 2, and then through the left-hander of turn 3. But Jensen out on top, I've got to say, by a comfortable 10th of a second in the end. Kaya there in 2nd, came in with a very good lap, of course. Baraka in 3rd, Cheto in 4th, Nathan in 5th, as I say, 10th and a half just over that, separating the top 5. Yona in 6th, Macho in 7th, Henry Nate, Laser in 9th on his debut, good performance from him. Bono in 10th, Rockham in 11th, Lou in 12th. The top 12 are separated by just over 6 tenths. Mentos 13, T-Hawk in 14th. Zabel didn't get another lap in. He's down there in 15th, and Harmon didn't set a time at all, and he's right down on the back of the field. But Jensen out on top, Kaya in 2nd, Baraka in 3rd. That sets us up nicely, I think, for what could be a very interesting race in terms of the championship battle.
Yeah. And just confirming what you did speculate, Jensen did get a tow from Macho, so that helped him getting pole position by a 10th.
It did, and I think down the straight, honestly, it gives you... Not many drivers tend to use up the tow around here. It's a bit like Imola. Imola, you don't tend to use up the tow running down the straight, but when you do, it is so potent, and you really get a good lap time out of it. And that's why I think Jensen, obviously with the help of his teammate Macho, who has won a race this season, by the way, obviously in Zandvoort, and obviously has drove well throughout, he and the Alfa Romeo team have been so consistent. I think teamwork makes the dream work, is what I can say with the Alfa Romeo team, and they've just done a spectacular thing. Obviously Jensen out on top, Macho's not too far off the pace either, but this rush down and towards turn 2 is going to be very, very tricky, to be honest. You're going to have a lot of late braking, and if you have a lot of late braking, you're probably going to end up maybe with a crash.
Yeah, but it is a sunny day in Russia. At least it's not snowing.
At least it isn't snowing. I've got no oh, there we go. I have got broadcast cam. I was thinking I haven't got broadcast cam there, but I have, so it's good. And yeah, no snow, of course, out on track. We are near the Black Sea, of course, here in Russia, in Sochi. Of course, home of the 2014 Winter Olympics. And I always remember the 2014 Winter Olympics for Lizzie Arnold winning in the bobsleigh.
Well, I'm not a big watcher of the Winter Olympics, so... Yeah, interesting tyre choices. Everyone outside the top 10 obviously getting a free tyre choice. on the mediums, apart from T-Hawk, who's starting on the soft, maybe trying to get a good start and trying to get in the points for his final race.
Yeah, I think honestly, in theory, those set of soft compound tires, I think that's a better strategy. If I've got to be honest, in the set of mediums, they'll obviously come online sooner. He's on a fresh tyres compared to the top 10 who've obviously qualified on that set of tyre in qualifying. And T-Hawk, I think, has to go bold and try and set up a really good result in this final race, of course. He's on that set of soft compound tyre, and those set of softs, from my experience around here, they can last 9 or 10 laps quite comfortably, and then transition onto a set of mediums around about 17, 18 laps from the end of the race. So I think T-Hawk, theoretically, he should be the quickest man on that set of soft compound tyres, and he should be theoretically the quickest man out on track. But Rocco, Lou, and Mentos are no slouches whatsoever, especially Rocco and Lou, who I think on that set of medium compound tyres, as long as they get a good start, they could be right up in the mix towards the end of the first lap.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lou and Rocco, they both got really unlucky for that quali, but it does help him for the race, of course, getting a free tyre choice.
It does, and obviously, as we alluded to, top 10 qualifying on that set of soft compound tyres. So, these top 10 will be qualified on that set of softs, and they're on a worn set of soft compound tyre. And when they're on a worn set, we're talking about 5-6% a lap in terms of tyre wear. These tyres, theoretically, should be around 40 to 50% by the time lap 9 or 10 comes down, and that, of course, is when the drivers will tend to pit in from. As the final cars are joining on the grid, I think Lou might have spun underneath the formation lap, but we are waiting for John on the grid. But Jack, I'm going to come across to you. Who's your top 3?
I'm going to give Kaya a shout out. I'm going to put him for first. I'm going to put Nathan for second, and then I'm going to put Henry third.
Interesting. So none of the title contenders in the top 3, according to my co-commentator's prediction. See if that comes right in 27 laps' time, as Lou has joined on the back of the grid. Hopefully we're going to be getting going very soon indeed, and the 5 red lights are going to come on here in Russia for round number 15 of the championship here on FRL F1, and it is lights out and away we go. Bit of a laggy start, I've got to say. Baraka gets an absolute shot out of a bullet, and he now goes around the outside of Jensen, and Jensen has had a really poor start. He's been outgunned by Kaya, by Baraka, and by Cheto as well, and Kaya now is going to try and lead down in towards turn 2 of the inside line goes Cheto, but Baraka is forced off track slightly, and Cheto has spun going through the polystyrene boards. I think he's kept it out the wall. Bono, I think, has been caught up in a collision further down the field. It's side by side though as we come through turn 4, and Baraka leads. Baraka has got the lead from Kaya in second. Whether or not that is an illegal move for the lead remains to be seen. Baraka was obviously off track, so Baraka leads the way for now. Kaya in second, Nathan in third, both Alpines chasing down the AlphaTauri. Really good start by everyone. Jensen, though, as we alluded to in the formation lap, has been outgunned off the start, and he's down in 4th.
Of course, as I thought.
Kaya spun! Kaya spins, coming through turn 9, and he actually gets nearly mullered by one of the cars there, and the goal scene system just about comes into effect. Kaya now right down the back of the field. He's kept it out the wall, luckily. Luckily, there won't be any VSC or safety guard, but he has kept it out the wall. And now, actually, promotes Jensen up to third, and he's got Yona right on the back of him.
But yeah, as I was thinking, the people that are behind first and second are going to get a really good run into turn 2.
Nathan's hit Baraka! Nathan hits Baraka coming through turn 15 and now goes around the outside of him, and look at this, it's all opened up a can of worms as Jensen now on the inside line is going to get his championship rival coming through now in towards turn 18 for the first time. Nathan leads the way, Jensen catches the ball out on the inside, and now Baraka is about dragging him for second position. Yona then 4th. Goodness me, what a start here in Russia. Nathan is 9/10 away though out in front. Baraka in second, Jensen in third. They're going to have to try and pick the toe desperately, but Yona down the inside line of Jensen. Can he get the car stopped? Not quite in towards P3, but now the front 2 pull away. Now Macho goes all the way around the outside on the dusty part, coming round turn 4, and he's on the outside of Yona now for turn 5, and on the inside he goes. Macho should be through, and Yona makes contact with him. Yona makes contact. Macho's in the wall, and it's called all sort of contact with him, and Laser, I think, got caught up in that, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Front wing damage for Macho, and that was inevitable, I think.
Yeah, of course, Macho going for quite a risky move around the outside of turn 4, but as you were saying, Laser does have in-flight damage, and Macho has no front wing. But yeah, I seen that coming. And yeah, of course, the third and fourth positions getting a really good run into turn 2. Before I was cut off rudely by Nathan hitting the back of Baraka.
Yeah, Baraka is in P2. He hasn't got any damage, I don't think. Nathan leading the way. Jensen there in third. But honestly, that was coming. Yona and Macho were fighting so aggressively, I think, in towards turn 5. Macho had run away the corner. It looked as if they got caught in each other. Basically spun, and that's where the contact was made. And that is where, obviously, Laser has dropped down into 14th. Macho with no front wing down in 15th position either. Baraka, however, on the back of Nathan. Nathan had a good race around here, of course, as I've already alluded to, in LOE. And he leads the way by 0.6 of a second. Henry, however, on the back of Jensen, with the DRS enabled, absolutely sails on by into P3. And the Aston Martin is through and he's into P3. It's not looking too bad for your prediction, I think, so far.
I was not expecting that. I only threw Henry in there because I think he got a bit unlucky in the qualifying. But yeah, it's been a really interesting start so far, though, hasn't it?
It has been a really interesting start. I mean, you did predict Kaya, by the way, for P1. He's down in P16 at the minute, but you never know. Anything could happen here still in Russia. The safety car, by the way, just before anybody complains, is on standard. I did change the setting to standard. I can guarantee you that 100%. And that is why, of course, there's been no safety car at this moment in time. Obviously, they didn't feel that the safety car was needed for that collision with Macho and with Yona coming through turn 5. Looking further down the field, I'm trying to see Lou is on the back of Zero for P9 and P10. Lou on the back, trying to get the move done, but I don't think he'll be close enough. And in fact, nobody is close enough down in towards the right-hander of turn 13, as Harmon actually goes very deep. And yeah, Zero will now try and get the switch back. Teok, by the way, is up to 7th. I just thought I mentioned. Teok is up to 7th in the points so far, looking quite good. Harmon and his teammate in behind, looking quite good as well. And Teok now, he's outgunned Lou off the start. Obviously, Lou got caught up in a bit of contact, but Teok in P7 at the minute, he's doing such a solid job, and he is on the back within DRS range of Rocco and Mentos.
Yeah, a couple of honourable mentions. T-Hawk and Harmon making up positions at the start, and Mentos, of course, starting in P13 is now up to 6th. But he's got Rocco behind, going down the inside. Rocco, late on the brake, nice move from Rocco.
Characteristic, I think, of Rocco, that beautiful move down the inside line, gets the move done into turn 2 and gets the job done, and he's into 5th position. As you see, obviously contact being made. Yona has dropped positions pretty much, actually 11th down to 16th, have all lost positions, as well as Jensen, who has obviously lost 3 positions. Everyone else has gained positions out on track, most notably, as you say, Harmon gaining 8, Mentos and Teal gaining 7, and Rocco gaining 6, along with 0 in all that. So, further down the field seems to be the place to be. Lap 4 we go here in Russia. Nathan leading the way, Baraka in 2nd, and Baraka doesn't look like he's on the back of Nathan. Nathan looks like he's got natural pace so far to try and burn away from Baraka, but in terms of the championship, this is good for Baraka, because all he can do, keep up to Nathan. Jensen in behind is on the back of Henry. He's not going to get the move done down in towards turn 12 or 13. And Jensen now is the one that has got to try and up his game, because Baraka can literally just follow Nathan and follow him, possibly to get a race win.
Yeah, I don't really know. My mind just went blank for a second. But yeah, coming into turn 13, the amount of brake light, the amount of the lockup marks, I forgot the name of it, my mind went blank. As Jensen's made a move on Henry up to 3rd now, the amount of lockup marks going into turn 13 is incredible. Of course, we've seen people going a bit deep, like Harmon, of course, did, on the back of Seahawk, his teammate, trying to get some really good points for the team before he departs to join the army, which is really good. Thank you for your service, Seahawk. But yeah, Baraka just trying to keep in touch with Nathan, trying to get his DRS, and yeah, this could take him to a victory.
It can take him to a victory, yeah. Teal there in 7th, Harmon in 8th. Rocco's picked up a 3-second penalty, further up the field in 5th. He ran wide coming through turn 8 there, but Nathan leading the way. 7/10 of a second. Baraka looks like he is struggling through that middle sector, and I can't put my finger on it. Not sure if it's damage maybe from obviously when Nathan contacted him down in towards turn 15 on the first lap, but Baraka just seems to struggle to try and gain, and I think it's really because Nathan's got a more downforce setup on, and Baraka has got more of a straight line speed setup on, and that is why Baraka can't catch at the minute. Mentos is the latest to pick up a 3-second penalty. By the way, I'm seeing the chat, by the way. Funky Chicken is in the comment section. Yes, that is his name, and yes, he is a real-life driver here in, well, not in FRL, but he is a driver in TTML, as I think Nathan is into the pick lane along with Henry. Lap 6 out of 27. Very early pit stops.
I don't. Why? I don't know. But I think there might. I don't know why they would be doing a 2-stop. And oh, Nathan's got damage. Nathan had damage. I'm not sure why. Nathan pit. He didn't have damage.
No.
Is that too early?
I think it is. I said around lap 11, lap 12, possibly, in terms of... Oh, certainly the AWS graphic said that. Otherwise, of course, ignore the AWS graphic on this game because it's totally useless. Baraka leading the way, Jensen in second, Rocco in third. And actually, I think Rocco got the move done on Mentos there, if I'm not mistaken. It was certainly nearly side by side, down and towards turn 2. But Rocco is through and he's into P3. Mentos there in P4. On the back as well, Lou, all over the back of Zero, in towards turn 10. He's not going to go around the outside here, is he? In the Red Bull, there's a yellow flag out there, and it's Bono that has spun, coming through turn 9. Lou, however, on the back of Zero, and actually a VSC deployed, so that's why they slow down. VSC is deployed. It brings now the cars to 40% limit in terms of their speed, and Yona, I think, was wanting to try and get on with that because he's just weaving the tyres, maybe in a bit of frustration that Lou didn't get the move done on Zero, and he could have tried and followed through if there was a little bit of contact. But VSC deployed as a result of Bono, and that is why Bono has deployed the VSC. No front wing on his car.
Yeah, I'm of course, another honourable mention has to be Zero, of course, up to 7th from 15th. Really impressive drive from him so far on that medium compound tire. And all the front runners are pitting in, like Baraka and Jensen, and Seahawk and Yona as well.
Yeah, all the guys in a set of softs. Yeah, it's all the guys in a set of softs that are pulling into the pit lane. Nathan's just picked up a drive-through penalty for speeding on the virtual safety car, and he's coming around turn 17. He's into the pit lane to serve that up, though. That's a good tactic, I think, to be honest, from Nathan. Serve it up straight away. You won't lose much time. He needs, though, a safety car to get back into the race as a result. And we'll run a ball actually with Nathan. He is passing his pick through there now, so he is saving up. He is actually serving up that virtual safety car penalty that he picked up, that drive-through penalty. Lou, by the way, still on the back of Zero, was right on the back through turn 2. Didn't quite get the move done. Nathan, by the way, is all the way down behind Kaya now as a result of that drive-through. And I was literally about to say, before he picked up that penalty, who do you think would have actually benefited from that VSC more? It clearly states now, Jensen benefited more, obviously, with Nathan picking up that drive-through penalty, and Jensen's on the 8/10 off the back of Baraka.
Yeah, I would say Jensen as well. Of course, making a crucial pit stop now onto the mediums, I'm guessing. I don't have tire graphic up yet on the mediums, so they'll try and last lap to the end of the race. They'll get really close to the back of NRA Carmen there. But yeah, really interesting top 3 at the moment. Of course, that could all change.
Oh!
Oh!
Zero and Harmon, I think, have made contact further up the field. I was right on board with Nathan actually going around the outside of turn 9, and they made contact. Bono and Nathan made contact, and they didn't give an inch of room, both of them. And Bono was sent round. Nathan caught up in another incident here tonight in P14. Not sure whether it was that his fault, but going around the outside of turn 9, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that in my life.
Yeah, really, I didn't really see them contact. I've only seen Bono trying to get back on the right way of the track. But as I was going to say, oh, there's another yellow flag. Is that
Kaya?
Kaya. He's got damage as well. That doesn't help.
It doesn't.
Zero penalty. I was going to say that was a really interesting top 3 as Yona makes a move on Seahawk up to P8 now. Really interesting top 3. It still is really. Rocco up to first, and Kaya has retired. I think that's in the pit lane.
It is. Bono speeds in as well. I think that might be the end of his race. And actually, somehow he jumps above Kaya coming into the pit lane. I don't understand this game sometimes. Bono is into 15. Obviously, both of them have DNF out the race. They're not going to be picking up any points, of course, as a result. Cheto on the back of Henry looks quite interesting. The Williams on the back of the Aston Martin, of course. In terms of the Williams, there is only one here. Cheto, of course, in the Williams, in P11 at the minute. He's currently actually, with the top 5 still to pit in, he's in a net P6 at this stage, which is not too bad. And of course, Sir Frank will be looking down on us, probably seeing that Cheto, the Bulgarian, is driving, of course, on the back of Henry for P10 and P11. But Mentos for the lead is only 5/10 away, running down in towards turn 1. I think he's going to get the move done here. Rocco, I don't think, stands a chance with Mentos just tucking in the slipstream. Rocco to the left-hand side, and he goes backwards. And Mentos is through the third of the race gone, and he's into the lead of the race. However, Rocco is going to try and come back at him, actually, coming around the outside of turn 3. He could try and switch this back into the inside of turn 4. Doesn't get the move done, though. Mentos holds the lead of the race. It was interesting from Rocco. He went massively wide, pretty much onto the dusty part of the track. He could have easily just tried to floor the throttle all the way around the outside, very much closer to Mentos, and I honestly thought he would have had a chance of actually getting that move done, but patience is a virtue.
Yeah, that is a saying used very much in motorsport. But yeah, of course I was going to say this is like the real life Grand Prix, except the positions are switched. Of course. But, oh no, I might have jinxed it.
Yeah, Rocco is catching the back of Mentos in towards turn 12 and 13. He goes to the inside line. It's a very much inside line. But he's just warning them that he's there. And I think that's a smart from Rocco. He doesn't want to get embroiled in a battle. He's got Lou behind him, 1.2 seconds behind. If you use Lou up in behind you to latch onto the back of this slipstream, you've got a 3-car slipstream train for the race lead. And Lou will stand a chance, obviously, in trying to pick up, obviously, a big overcut later on in the race when he goes on, of course, onto that set of soft compounder tyre, probably around lap 16 to 18, I would say.
Yeah, but that's not why I was saying I've jinxed it, because you know what happened to Rhino.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not an intermediate race so far, so...
Imagine if there is rain at the end of the race.
You've jinxed it now. You have absolutely jinxed it. If there's rain later on in the race, we're going to be coming at you in the comment section after the race, I think. Definitely. Jensen on the back of Baraka, looking interesting, but not close enough down in towards someone. And actually, in terms of the ERS consumption, Jensen has got 51% of ERS, Baraka 56, so he's got slightly more than his title rival in behind. Both of these guys, though, are in the net battle for the lead of the race. Baraka obviously in the net lead, Jensen in the net second. These two, I don't think want to embroil themselves in a battle, because we've seen hard fighting between them before. In Italy, 2 weeks ago, Jensen and Baraka, they made contact, and Jensen got caught up in a whole lot of contact earlier on in the season as well. But Baraka has held his own so far. He looks comfortable, but I think Jensen's just got that extra gear to try and go through, and then obviously try and pick up the race when he's 6 cents behind on him now. But Baraka, to me, he looks as if he's just going to be overtaken at any second from Jensen, because Jensen, I've got to be honest, looks quicker than him.
Yeah, of course, 10 separating him in qualifying, that could play a difference into the race. Rocco on the back of Mentos, though, could he try and make a move for the lead in going into turn 2?
Possibly, yeah, he's 4 tenths away. It is close enough for a move if he so wishes it, but we've seen him back out of the slipstream. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do here. Yeah, he backs up the throttle. Lou, by the way, had DRS in that as well, so it has now become a 3-car train for the race lead. Jensen, however, again on the back of Baraka. Is he going to close up quick enough for the net lead of the race? I think he will. To the inside line he goes. Jensen on Baraka. Championship fight. And Jensen is through and he's into 6th position. But Baraka, though, gets a better run. And this is what we saw with Rocco when he ducks in to the inside. Follows the slipstream on Jensen. Jensen getting a little bit sketchy coming out through the the left-hander of turn 4, but Jensen now through and he's into the net lead of the race, into P6 for now. Baraka there in 7th. Laser has came into the pit lane further down the field from that sort of hard compounder tyres, which is quite an interesting strategy to go on, as Nathan has picked up a 3-second penalty as well. In terms of the penalties, actually, Mentos, Rocco, Zero, Harmon and Nathan have got all 3-second penalties, probably the easiest penalties up there I'll do all night.
But yeah, I would say this track is quite easy to get a penalty actually. It is quite well, it's not that harsh, but it's, if you just run wide a little bit, that'll just get you a warning, and then that could lead to more warnings and penalties. But yeah, really clean so far for penalty wise. Yeah, just on board with Lou, just seeing if he can try and make a move. The straight line speed compared to Lou and Rocco is immeasurable. Rocco just shot out Turner team going into turn 1.
Yeah, I think he got his gears right coming out of the corner as well, which obviously is a lot coming out of the final corner, and gives you that run, of course, down in towards 7. Baraka is closing in on Jensen. Is he going to lunge it down the inside line? Thinks about it, doesn't go for the move though. Jensen in P6, Baraka in P7. They've got 6.5 seconds to Jonas, so it's very comfortable in terms of the net race lead at the minute. Lou, however, do you know how I said Rocco was quicker than Mentos? I think Lou's quicker than all three of them at this stage, honestly. And Lou, on the back of Rocco, he seems to be wearing his tyres at a much easier rate than Rocco is. And Rocco, I can spot rear blistering on that left rear. Compared to Lou, who I'm all with now, he's got no blistering at all on his tyres, and they still look as if they're quite fresh.
Yeah, I think Lou's been managing his tyres well, compared to maybe Rocco or Mentos. But yeah, coming into the hard braking of turn 12 and turn 13. And when the maybe lose the rear and out, really stable and clean from the drivers so far. But yeah, I think Lou's been managing his tyres well. Maybe he is the Sergio Perez.
He might be the Sergio Perez. He might be the Sergio Perez of FRL. I think, honestly, yeah, I've got to agree. He's using up his tyres at a much lesser rate than what Rocco is. There is a yellow flag. Oh, it's T-Oak that's spun. T-Oak has spun coming through 14. The left-hander. There's no damage on the car, I don't think. Oh, there's left side end plate damage actually on the car. So T-Oak is round. Left side end plate damage on the car. His last stance, as he likes to call it. He is, well, I think we're on board with him now. He's probably got the stream up. And now he is there, as actually Baraka and Jensen are side by side, coming out of turns 2 and 3. This is for a very good title fight now between Jensen and Baraka here in Russia. 6 seconds to Yona and behind. He didn't go for the move. He looked as if he was going to get the move done, Baraka. Didn't go for it, though. Maybe waiting for Jensen to make a mistake. Jensen normally doesn't make mistakes, but when he does, they normally are very costly indeed. And look at them, actually. They're catching 0-1 Harmon, who's only 2 seconds up the road. So I think more, Baraka's got to work together with Jensen. Both of them have got to work together and catch the guys ahead who are obviously going to be coming in the pit stops very soon. Rocco on the back of Mentos. Again, backs out the throttle for the lead.
Yeah, Zero losing the rear a little bit coming out of turn 10. That could be a problem with his tyres, but I'm not too sure. But... oh, Baraka! Down the inside, Jensen, will he get the switch back? No, he doesn't. Baraka, and then the attack is P1, but Jensen will have to...
Oh!
And, oh, they've touched! Martin, they've touched!
They have! Jensen!
Oh. Yeah. Oh my god, man.
Has he got damage?
This is for the championship. Has he got damage? No, he hasn't. Luckily. But this is for the championship, man. Like, this is gonna be so close. And I'm not gonna lie. If you were to just yell at someone, they would be awake. Your voice is so loud.
Harmon eyes went too deep into turn 2. I thought that was going to be the best move I think I've ever seen in towards turn 2 at Russia, but Harmon doesn't pull it off and he stays in P5. He tried it. He was so late on the brakes. He messed his braking point up completely. Zero there, still in P4, and all of this still bringing Baraka and Jensen into play. And they're going to be within DRS range on this lap on them. And look at Yona and behind. Yona and Jensen, Jensen and Yona actually, separated by just under 5 seconds. So, if Baraka latches onto the back, which he is going to, he's within DRS this time, Yona has got to rely on basically Zero and Harmon holding these guys up. Yona to stand a chance of possibly winning this race. It could have a big knock-on effect, but Harman now, on the back of Zero, is looking to get this move done more immediately on the back of the Haas of Zero, and Zero now looks absolutely shot in terms of its tyres, and Harman to the inside line gets the move done. In towards turn number 13, and then to the left-hander of 14. Zero's trying to come back, and there's a bit of contact that sends him out wide, and now Baraka is on the inside of them both, and Zero is off track, and he just about joins on, but Baraka is still there. And Baraka is ahead, and Jensen gets held up by Zero. Jensen held up by Zero. Zero is holding up Jensen, and Jensen's going to fall out of DRS range to Baraka. This is crucial. The Finn is holding up the Brit. These guys are friends, for goodness sake. They're not acting as if they're friends now. Mental's leading the way. Rocco in second. Baraka is on the back of Harman, and he's going to put maybe another car in the way of Jensen, who's got through on Zero. But Baraka now through on Harman, and he puts another car in the way. And Baraka, I think that's helped him more out. Jensen is going to be very, very annoyed in his helmet.
Yeah, not too great, but Cheto has made a move on Henry down the inside in turn 2. But yeah, these two, of course, being friends outside of the ring of Sochi. Really getting held up by Zero Jensen. Yeah, just really unlucky for Jensen just to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, I'd say.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time, and it's cost them the DRS. Jensen's within DRS and Harman, but once he gets past Harman, he's out of DRS range to Baraka. And Yona's only 2.5 seconds off this pack as well, and Jensen's just going to fly past Harman here. The easiest overtake you will see all night. Jensen is through, and he's into P5. And look at his deployment. 6% of deployment now for the ERS. Baraka has got 40%. And that's what it means. Only half a lap's worth of advantage gives you nearly 40% better off ERS. Jensen is borderline a second away from Baraka, and in fact I don't think he's going to get the DRS this time around. The DRS detection point was there, and now...
Yeah, the top 3.
Coming out of the fight, of course, yeah, Lou's on the back of Rocco. Lou now on the back of Rocco. Zero's into the pit lane. Lou doesn't go for the move, and Rocco doesn't go for the move on Mentos either.
Zero's in the pits even. Jensen is really pushing on that last lap, I could tell. Using all of the DRS pretty much, and got DRS obviously. But yeah, like, he was pushing, trying to catch back up to the Spaniard of Baraka.
Yeah, just seen in the comments, by the way, that Justas has managed to join us here. Relentless team member, of course, supporting, I would assume, Nathan. He's here for the donuts at the end of the race and not for my glorious commentary. Thank you, Justas. Thank you very much. Mentos leading the way, Rocco in second, Lou in third. Lap 16 out of 27, still got 12 laps to go, 11.5, of course, if you're being picky, but Mentos leading the way, Rocco in second, Lou in third. Baraka is pulling out time on Jensen. He looks quick now, does Baraka. The Spaniard has got the advantage, and honestly, at this stage of the race, if you were to say to me, is Jensen going to outdo Baraka towards the end? I would say no, because Baraka looks like he's got the pace, he's got more ERS than Jensen, and Jensen is having to use up a lot of deployment to try and even catch back up to Baraka. Baraka looks now as if he's got the different gear as what we alluded to earlier on.
As Mentos and Lou are both pitting onto a fresh pair of softs, I'm guessing. As Rocco, I don't know why he's not pit. That is tires, as he was saying. It looks a bit not good as they used to. But yeah, Baraka, he might have this in the bag. Unless Jensen can get something, I pull something out of his, you know, where the sun don't shine.
Pull something out of his bag, I think is what we will probably allude to. We don't want to be saying that on stream. Certainly we'll be cursed, we'll be getting kicked off the air. Jensen in P3, Yona in P4, and look, Mentos is behind a whole wall of cars. Henry gets moved on, Cheto and all of that. Gets a little bit sketchy, but now Mentos. This is where we're going to see the softs come into their own. Cheto down the inside of Henry, nearly in towards turn 4. Now through the right hander of turn 5, doesn't get the move done. Cheto, though, he was cheeky to try and go for that move, I've got to be honest. Mentos, though, he's in a bit of a pocket now. He's on that sort of soft compound tyre. He should just wait in behind Cheto, wait in behind Henry. He's got 55% of ERS. Cheto's got 75. Henry's got 30. And both of these guys and behind him should be now using up that ERS to try and get through on Henry, because Cheto and Mentos looking quick, especially Mentos on that sort of soft Combinator. Remember, he's got a penalty as well, and he's got to get through. I think he's more desperate to possibly get through on the back of Cheto than he is to get through on Henry, and they're probably going to wait down the straight. And I'm just going to say it now, I think it's going to be 3 wide down the straight as Rocco is in from the lead.
Yeah, Baraka will inherit the lead from the Rocco, going on to them fresh soft tires, which we all need. And Lewis joined onto the back of this battle, saying it could go 3 wide. I think it could, you know, they are all close enough to make it go 3 wide as Laser gets a penalty. Really unlucky down in the wooden spoon of C14. And yeah, let's see Rocco to join this as well.
Look at Mentos. Mentos on the back of Cheto. He goes down the inside line in towards turn 2. Cheto nearly comes across on him, but Mentos is too late on the brakes. Lovely move that. Down in towards turn 2 and 3. He literally said, no, you're not getting this move back. Mentos is through and he's into P5. Lovely move that on the brakes. The Ferrari, the Tifosi will be very happy with that. Mentos now through on 1. Can he get through on another? He's got 10 seconds to catch on Yona. He's not going to catch that before the end of the race. But if he gets through on Henry, which would be absolutely crucial, he's there in P4, Mentos there in P5, on that side of soft Combinator. He's probably one of the favourites now to even take a podium if these softs really come into play. But looking at Baraka and Jensen, they're still hovering 2.2 seconds away, and Baraka's still pulling away from Jensen.
Yeah, all it takes is for one of the leaders to get a penalty, and that'll be their race ruined. Baraka, if he gets a penalty, Jensen will hand that lead as Mentos down the inside of Henry. Pretty clean move.
Oh, Rocco comes steaming down the inside line of Lou. Sorry to cut you off, but goodness me, that was so late on the brakes. He wasn't getting the car stopped, and I don't think the Russian fans thought he was getting the car stopped either. Rocco now down into P10. Luckily, he's avoided contact somehow. He has avoided contact with Lou. I do not know how, but now he's down in P10, and unfortunately for Rocco, that was just too late on the brakes and simply went in too hot. Didn't realise. Contacted the back of Lou, but it's him that's came off worse off than Lou has. And speaking of Lou, he's going to get the move done on Cheto, possibly down in towards turn 2. Rocco was through a Macho, and Cheto really defending hard. Lou is down the inside line, and again, Lou just sends it down the inside line, and he picks up a penalty for his actions, and now Cheto side by side with him, now coming through turn 4. We've seen this before, I've certainly seen this before, but now Lou on the inside line should have the car, gets the move done. So Lou is done, he's into P6. The Williams now have Cheto down into P7, and that was a good fight coming through turn 4, and that's exactly what we want to see. On the limit driving, Cheto realising the limit, Lou realising the limit, Lou is through and he's into P6 as Laser has retired into the pit lane.
Yeah, I've just noticed over this past lap, Yona has caught up to Jensen rapidly, whether Jensen has made a mistake or if he's got damaged.
I think he's got damage from earlier on. Do you remember when he contacted Baraka coming through turn 15? I think he's got left side end plate damage coming through there. And if it is, it's winglet damage. Lou, by the way, side by side with Henry coming through in towards 14. And now in toward the left hand there's a 15 and 16. Rocco, by the way, through on Nathan. And Lou nearly sideways.
Yeah, a little bit of contact from Nathan. Or Nathan just went wide. I'm not too sure. But I caught onto that, and Nathan just went a little bit wide into turn 6. Lou looking really racy though on these fresh softs, obviously. But Yona, he's now in DRS range of Jensen, as Lou is now overtaking Henry on them old. Oh, okay, there was a yellow flag there. I think that was his Laser's car tiring. But yeah. We're looking really racy on them fresh soft tires.
Jensen's got to have damage, I think. Jensen has got to have damage. It's 3.2 seconds now the gap. He's losing 3 or 4 tenths a lap. 3 or 4 tenths a second a lap on Baraka. So he's lost basically 1.5 seconds over the last 5 laps. And Jensen, he's got to be struggling with that set of medium compounded tyres. Whether or not it's the mediums, whether or not it's a bit of damage, I think it's more damage than anything. But we'll of course see after the race whether it was damage in the interviews. Yona on the back of Jensen, not going to be close enough down in towards turn number 13, through the right-hander of 13, and then through the left-hander of 14. Baraka's still leading the way there. I'm really surprised, by the way, we've only had one VSC, no safety cars so far, and it's been a very relatively clean race, I think. Baraka leading the way, Jensen in second, Yona in third. I think it's just a matter of time, really, by saying Yona is going to get the move done on Jensen.
I agree with you there. Whether I don't know if he has the speed though. Jensen's getting a bit wide, or no, not wide. Getting a bit loosey-goosey on the rear, coming out of the exit of turn 18. Oh, Yona, look at his straight line speed.
No.
Not close enough to make a move.
Yeah, didn't use up any deployment running down in towards turn 2 and 3. And I think that was smart from Yona. He doesn't want to get into a battle with him. Speaking of battles, Lou down the inside line, and Mentos absolutely sends it. Lovely move by the Red Bull. He's into P4. Mentos are going to try and fight this back, but I think that is Lou's move to lose. Bit of a mouthful to say that, but Lou's through and he's into P4. Mentos in P5. Henry in P6. Cheto there in P7 as well. But Baraka leading the way. Henry, the latest to pick up a 3-second penalty. And Mentos still on the rear wing of Lou. Can he try and get the move done maybe down the straight in towards turn 13? Who knows? But Baraka leading the way. Jensen in second. And it's now Yona that just seems to be struggling all of a sudden. 7/10 the gap. Jensen is not pulling a gap back to Baraka, but Yona's not getting any closer either. So these really are in a bit of a stagnated battle. Out on track, there's a yellow flag, and I think it's Nathan that spun.
Yeah. Nathan's been struggling. He's now got 12 seconds of penalty. And I'm not sure whether it is because of the tires, but he has no excuse. Macho is on 17 lap old mediums.
He is on 17 lap old mediums. Yeah, Macho. I mean, he got caught up in that contact, Macho, and he's doing a relatively good drive in 9th position. Alfa Romeo, by the way, are being outscored. No, actually, am I right in saying that? I think I am. Yeah, AlphaTauri are going to outscore Alfa Romeo in the Constructors' battle. Yona, by the way, is on the back of Jensen. Is it this time he's going to go for the move? He backs off the throttle, going down in towards turn 2 and 3. But I think he's probably going to go for the move. Last 3 laps of the race, I would think. Nathan has spun again. He's DNF, and that could be a safety car, possibly. And it is a safety car. And now this is where the action heats up. Baraka leading the way. Safety car out on track. Nathan crashing coming through 15. It looks like he got caught on the outside curb through 16. And then spun the car and he's round. Nathan there, down in P12. But Baraka leading the way. This opens it up. Surely everyone has got to pit in. Set of soft compounded tyres. Probably a 3-lap sprint.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, but oh my gosh, this is gonna be eaten up coming into the final laps. This is gonna be really close. Anyone could win it, pretty much. Well, not really anyone. Anyone without a penalty could win this. Cheto could win this.
Yeah, Cheto could win this. He's on that set of mediums. Obviously, he'll be pitting in for a set of softs, and everyone will be somewhat negated. And I think Cheto, yeah, he could be on for podium, I would think. I don't think he'll be on for the win. Given that, he's going to be in a DRS train. If all of these guys come in ahead of him and he comes in, they're all going to be in a big DRS train. On a set of soft compounded tyres, Baraka, he knows what he's doing. He's coming into the pit lane. Jensen is going to be coming in as well. Yes, he is. I thought he was staying out there, but Jensen is into the pit lane as well. Yona is in, and I imagine everyone is probably going to be pitting in. But Cheto, further down the field, as I alluded to, he's on a set of medium compounded tyres. Yona is staying out along with Mentos. But Cheto was in.
Lou and Mentos are staying out.
Yeah, Lou and Mentos are staying out. So obviously they've got nothing to lose. On that set of softs, Rocco's got nothing to lose either. He's staying out as well. All of the guys in the set of softs, bar Harmon, who I thought would have been staying lane as well for set of softs. Teal'c obviously needed a lap down. He's already pitted. Zero's AI car still going around there in P12. He was alluding to his internet there in the comments. Lou, though, leading the way. Mentos in second. Rocco in third. But why wouldn't they pit if they've got penalties? They've got penalties. Baraka's got no penalties. Neither does Jensen or Yona. So this is just going to set up a podium for what it was before the safety car came out.
Yeah. Who hasn't got a penalty? Okay. Seahawk could score some really good points here.
He could, I mean...
It's final dance, as you...
On his last dance. I think... He's in 11th, but as I say, I think the DRS train that's going to be out on track, it's going to be so hard to get the move done, especially given that T-Hawk, and they've got to wait for Zero's AI car as well, and if his AI doesn't latch on, obviously they've got to wait until his AI car does latch back on. That's just the nature of the game. And when T-Hawk latches back onto the pack, we are only going to have 3 laps worth of racing, so that will mean, in theory, DRS final lap of the race, and nobody really, unless they get an absolutely monumental start, nobody really is going to make an overtake in 2 out of those last 3 laps.
Yeah. This could... Oh my god, this is gonna be really exciting for the final laps. Seahawks just trying to catch back up, 24 seconds behind his teammate Harden. But yeah, anyone's race. Well, yeah, pretty much anyone's race.
Yeah, anyone's race, and go on.
Yeah. Oh no. I don't know why. My mind went blank again.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, honestly, I think it is anyone's race. I think provided if Lou, Mentos and Rocco get a better start than Baraka, and they're more than 3 seconds clear ahead of Baraka towards the end of the race, which I think is going to be unlikely, but if they do that, they've got a chance of actually winning this race out on track. And it will all Constantina up, really. Lou leading the way, Mentos in second, Rocco in third. Nathan Guy crashed out on purpose. I don't think he did. He made a mistake coming through turn 9 a couple of corners before he actually crashed. And judging by the turn 16 curb, if you get running wide through the turn 16 curb, you get caught in that, you end up spinning. I think that's exactly what happened to Nathan. If he did crash out on purpose, then it is disappointing, obviously. But we didn't see it. I saw it on the mini-map, and I thought he'd spun coming through turn 16. So I'm happy to be corrected, but we've got to leave it up to the stewards because they're the ones that are going to make decisions. Not me, not Jack, and not you either.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you now.
But lap 24 out of 27, we are still underneath the safety car. Lou leading the way, Mentos in second, Rocco in third, Baraka in fourth. And it all really boils down to, can Baraka outscore Jensen tonight? Obviously, Jensen 11 points behind coming into tonight. He's in 5th position, so it means he's getting 10 points at this stage. Obviously, if the top 3 were to remain as they are. But they've all got penalties. Baraka in P4 is on 12 points at the minute, so he's only outscoring him by 2, and the gap will be 13 points towards the end of the race. But what will happen? Will Jensen try and get Baraka? And actually, I'm looking at the conditions and thinking, do you know what? It's clouding over quite a lot.
it's getting cloudy, James.
Rain? No.
Oh no! Have I seriously jinxed?
It's not raining at the minute. Don't worry, it's not raining at the minute. But are we going to get the safety car coming in this up? Zero's AI still hasn't caught up to the back of the field. I think that's what they're waiting on.
Well, it must be coming in the front, surely.
Has to be. Otherwise, we're just going to get a 2-lap sprint and nobody's going to get DRS.
Getting really quite cloudy, James.
I'm concerned. And normally, when it comes over cloudy, it normally rains. Zero's AI car hasn't latched onto the back. His AI car is still going round, but safety car is going to be in next lap.
That is really getting dark. What have I done, James?
Hopefully, I don't think it'll impact the track. If it does rain, it won't impact the track at this late stage in the race, unless it's a very heavy shower. I think we're fine on this dry compound tire. I don't think it's going to rain, personally.
Yeah, but gone awfully dark.
It's pretty much as dark on my screen as it is outside, which is very strange because it is obviously dark outside. It's been night time. Does that make sense? Probably not, but still. Lap 25 out of 27, Lou leading the way, Mentos in second, Rocco in third. 2 laps worth of racing. No, and I repeat, no DRS for these final 2 laps. What happens?
Did I see a piece of wing fly off someone's car?
Let's have a look. Trying to flick through the field. Got my camera angles right, that would be great. Looking further down. Can't see anybody's front wing. Certainly not end plate damage, if that. No, I think everyone's fine.
But I think if there would have been a penalty to prove that. If someone did.
Yeah, there would have been a 5-second penalty. And looking through the penalties, as I've just turned off the user interface, looking through everyone's penalties, nobody's got a 5 seconds, so we're all fine.
Wow. Yeah. 2 laps of racing, as you said, there is no DRS for the racers. Which is quite disappointing. I thought the check car would have pulled in last lap and we would have got DRS on the final lap, but apparently not, as the safety car is.
Yep, safety car is in this lap. Lou is the virtual Burn Marlander. He is the virtual safety car. And now he will set a consistent pace at around 50 mile an hour to 60 mile an hour, I would say. This is going to be exciting. 2 laps to go after we complete, of course, lap 25. I thought I saw a little bit of rain there, but it's not raining. I think it was just a bit of a dandelion, maybe flying on the track as they always do. Lou, however, I think is going to go early. I think, honestly, he wants to commit early, and he wants to try and let Mentos and Rocco follow him and try and break Baraka. That's what they've got to do from the front. Otherwise, Baraka is going to win this race hands down because he's got the pace. Lou ran the final 2 corners. He's going to go around the final corner, I think. Lou, on the run, absolutely floors it now. Through turn 18 for the final, or for the penultimate time we go. Lou leads the way. Mendelssohn second, and Yona has got a really good start on the back of Jensen. He tucked on the rear wing and now pulls out of the slipstream to the left-hand side. The deployment in effect, and Jensen's going to go backwards here because Yona is through and he's into P5. And now Jensen is losing his title chance, really. He's lost another position, and Yona is through. What a good restart from him. Very good restart by all. And Harmon is trying to go side by side on Macho in towards turn 4 and then out of turn 5. Doesn't get the move done there, but it's a very good start. Lou leads the way, 1.2 seconds. That's exactly the start that he needed. Mentos in second, Rocco in third, Baraka in fourth. I think we saw Harmon as well going side by side with Macho and Teok fighting side by side, the 2 title rivals, of course, from last season. Lou leading the way. That's exactly the restart he would have wanted.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Lou. Of course, 1.4 seconds now. Really caught Mentos out, but as we see Baraka on the back as Harmon gets a penalty, that's really unfortunate from Harmon. As we see Baraka on the back of Rocco, will he try and dive it down the inside? No, he doesn't. Try and play safe, but Yona round the outside. What a brilliant move!
Can he pull it off though? He's through turn 15. And then in towards 16, he's still on the inside line, doesn't get the move done though, and all of that fighting, look at the gap, it's 2.4 seconds between Lou and Baraka. This is going to be good, I think, for Lou to actually get the race win, and Baraka nearly goes into the back, actually, of Rocco ahead of him. Onto the final lap we go. Lou leads the way, 1.7 seconds the gap over Mentos, who's trying to break the toe to Rocco, and in turn, they're trying to break the toe to Baraka and behind. Here comes Rocco though, on the back of Mentos, and now it's surely going to send it down the inside line in towards turn 2. We think second of it, and I think that's the right decision to do. Baraka there in 4th, Yona in 5th. The gap to the leader, 2.4 seconds, and Baraka's going around the outside of Rocco, coming through turn 4. This will be unbelievable. He can pull it off. The Spaniard's on the inside now from turn 5. What a move that is by Baraka! Absolutely sensational. There's a car off in the background. I think it was Harmon running wide, but Baraka, what a move around the outside of turn 4, gets the job done. That's exactly what he needed, and Baraka's through and he's into 3rd. What a move!
Yeah, what an incredible move from Baraka round the outside. But notably, Jensen has moved up to Yona, trying to catch up to Baraka on this final lap.
Oh, and he's in the back of him!
Rocco.
Right side end plate damage as well to Jensen, and Yona's now going to get the run, and Jensen's hopes of this championship could now be fading away from him as Baraka goes for the move on Mentos. Down in towards 13, will not get the move done, but he's got to try and get the move done because this is not over and done with yet. Lou now hanging on. The sun is beginning to come out once again here in Russia, but on the final lap, what a race, and Yona down the inside line of Rocco tries to get the move done. What a move around the outside of turn 15. Lovely stuff, but Lou around the final 2 corners through 17, through 18. He's going to win it out on track. He's not going to win it on penalties. Lou across the line wins. Mentos in second, but Baraka takes the win. Lou in second, Yona in third, to the Red Bull second and third. Will try and tie up the rest of the result. What an ending to that race. Who said Russia couldn't deliver?
a couple of years ago, I would have said that Russia is a terrible track, but for this year, it has been incredible. Of course, Baraka winning this race, what an incredible win. Of course, helping him for the charge to the title. Jensen, I think towards the end there, made contact with Henry, forcing him out wide, but I'm not 100% sure. That damage obviously impacted him.
Yeah, Jensen went into the back of a McLaren, I think it was. I think it was Rocco, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he went into the back of him, lost the right to end plate damage as a result, and obviously lost his chance of actually trying to get a podium in this race. In the end, he finishes 6th, but it's a very disappointing 6th, and I'm sure he will he will say that in the interviews. But Baraka, his first win since Belgium. Unbelievably, wow. 5 rounds ago in Belgium he won, and now for the first time in 5 rounds he takes the win here in Russia. Lou in 2nd. Great drive from him. If only Baraka was on more worn tyres, I think Lou would have had that. Yona in 3rd, Cheto in 4th, Mentos 13th on the grid up to 5th. Good drive from him. Jensen in 6th, T-Hawk is 7th on his final appearance and only 4 seconds off the win in the end. Henry in 8th, Macho in 9th, Rocco in 10th, they round off the points. Harmon in 11th, Zero's Icar finished in 12th, of course doesn't get any points for it. Nathan, Laser, Bono and Baby Kaya all out of the race at various points. What a race. What a race here in Russia. As I say, who knew Russia couldn't deliver? I certainly was not one of those people. I always thought Russia would deliver, and that's exactly what has happened. And I think we should make our way over to the interviews party.
Yes, I agree.
Are you in that, by the way?
No, I don't think so.
Jensen will have to add you, I think.
Yeah, well done to T-Hawk for getting points for Mercedes on his final run. We'll miss you, T-Hawk. You're a legend.
I think, though, we better go into the interviews. I'll certainly send you an invite in, though. I will join you there. As I'm going to transition my way over now to the interviews party. Hopefully, everyone will be here for their final interviews, of course, after tonight. And it's fantastic to have everyone, of course, back with us. And what a race that was. What an ending that was here in Russia. If somebody could be do the decent thing and that might call commentator, that would be absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, I will do that myself while I go on blue screen. And I will do that now if I can. Add players. Should be easy to do. I've done this many a time before. Let me find him. There he is. Right. Hopefully, we're going to be getting everyone in very soon. I know T-Hawk's in. I know quite a few of the other drivers are in. And I know my regular co-commentator is here as well. It's Mr. Michael F1.
Yeah, sorry, I was a little bit late. Bit of weather troubles down here with the trains. So, yeah, couldn't make it on Friday. But it was enjoy watching it though, gotta say.
It was a fantastic race, unbelievable in terms of the result, and I think we're going to move on to our first man who's in the party, and I need to pick up actually who's in this party, and I believe the first man I'm going to talk to is Jensen?
Lou, I think.
Zara? Yona? Who? Who am I talking to first? Hang on, I need to have a look at the result here, because, yeah, my mind has just gone completely blank. Give me a second. Where's the F1 stream? Where's the F1 stream? There it is. Goodness me. I should be more prepared for this sort of thing, but there we are. I am talking to... It's Lou I'm talking to first. In P2. That has a nice ring to it, by the way. 12th on the grid. Up to P2. You absolutely floored off that safety car restart, and you got P2 in the end. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing for me. I mean, P12, starting P12, falling back down to the back of the grid, and then ending up P2. But yeah, I need to thank my engineer for that, because he did an amazing job at engineering me today. And yeah, after all that, I'm so happy with P2 at the end.
Yeah, fantastic result, and obviously underneath that safety car restart very late on, was it always your intention to try and go out and make that 3-second gap to Baraka?
Yeah, it actually was. But yeah, at the safety car restart, I talked to my engineer about that, and we actually did prepared for this moment. So yeah, I knew where it would be tricky to go on the gas, and then I stepped on it, and I was 1.3 seconds away at the start-finish line. So that was nice, actually.
Yeah, on the final lap, I think you were 1.7 seconds ahead of second, and it was looking quite good. And then Baraka, of course, made the move done on who was it who made the move done? He made a move certainly further down the field and got the move around the outside of turn 4. I think it was on Rocco, if I'm not mistaken. He got the move done there, and obviously it sent us into absolute raptures in the commentary box because that was a fantastic move. But did you feel that you had the pace to try and win this tonight?
I actually don't, because my wheel, had some troubles before the start of the race. So I needed to switch to my old wheel, and I was not confident with that. So it was not my intention to actually win tonight, but just do my own race and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's all the more impressive, I think, that you had actually time to switch over to that old wheel and then find the form and then find, obviously, your second position here tonight in Russia. Jack, I am going to come across to you. Any questions?
But yeah, that would explain the lack of form from you in quali. But yeah, not really any questions. Good job on the win tonight, and yeah.
Thank you about that.
Hopefully we'll have some questions as we go along, but my final question to you, Lou, of course, next week, is it Singapore we go to next week, I think?
Oh no, Singapore, no.
I think it is. Is it not?
Yes, it is.
It is Singapore.
It is. It is Singapore next week. How do you think you are going to get on around a track that is absolutely terrible?
Exactly what you said there. But I will try to do my best every race, and if I have the space, I can have some good chances, but I doubt that, actually.
Well, you never know. It is literally like Monaco in Asia, possibly like Singapore, obviously very close to barriers. Hopefully it is going to be a good race, and hopefully we're going to see you on the podium again. But go and enjoy your evening, Lou. Thanks
for commentating.
You are very welcome indeed. And now we'll move on to our man, of course, who finished in P3. I believe he's here. It is NRX Yona. And Yona, fantastic result, of course, for the Red Bull team, finishing in P3, picking up the fastest lap. Talk us through your race. Yeah, P3 I think is a fantastic finish from your perspective. Talk us through, obviously, what happened in terms of the safety car, the last late safety car that came out. Did it actually help you in any sort of way at all? Yeah, I think P2... Yeah, I think P2 and P3, certainly from Red Bull's perspective, is fantastic. Obviously gaining points on AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo as we go along as well. Jack, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
So, I guess this is a question for Jensen, if he wants to answer this as well. But around lap... at one point during the race, you were catching up to Jensen so quickly when Jensen lost the position to Baraka, I think. But yeah, was that because of a lack of tire wear, or were you just trying to catch up to him? Alright. Yeah. Thank you.
My final question before we go, obviously, I transition over into Teal, because it'll be for the donuts, of course, that we're going to be doing. Singapore next week, how do you think you're going to get on? You never know. Yeah, you never know. I was going to say, it's going to be a war of attrition, I think, honestly, out on track in Singapore next week. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, I think, being made. And hopefully you're going to keep it clean and out of the walls. But go and enjoy your evening, Yona.
In the one that I've created.
There's a T-Org has just created a lobby, actually, so I think invites will probably get sent out in that.
Invites are out in the message chat already by Jensen.
Thank you very much, Yona. And while we, well, I'm gonna just go blue screen for a second so I can join that lobby. Give me a second. There we go. And now we can move on, of course, to our next man, who obviously was unfortunate in terms of the last lap contact. Of course, it is IFR Jensen, and Jensen, P6 I think it was for you in the end. Obviously with that bit of contact, with that right side end plate damage, you were driving really well up to that point. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I feel it should have been P2 or P3 after that, but it was, yeah. I mean, qualifying was good. Of course, Battery giving me the toe, but I managed to get the pole lap in the end. And the start was absolutely horrible, which has dropped down to 5th from that. But yeah, I think my setup wasn't really designed for straight line most of the time. Of course, Yona, it would go by, but it was just sitting behind, so I wasn't using anything. We were just losing out more time. But then the safety car came out, so yeah, went for the softs, and it was going all right until the final lap. Literally everyone, I don't know how they were so slow, to be honest, and how Lou managed to get so far ahead of them by like 2 seconds, which is insane. And then yeah, I feel that Rocco broke way too early into one of the corners, and then I hit the back of him, got a bit of damage, and yeah, the final sector, of course, had absolutely no front downforce, and I mean, I could have took the right lines, but I was absolutely like thrown off them by other people just deciding to send it, while I had someone alongside me there's another one trying to send it up the inside as well, and I have to back off and they give me no room as well, so it's kind of ridiculous really. But yeah, in the end it's P6, which is a shame, so I lose out 10 points to what I was hoping to get, but I mean we'll move on, I guess.
Yeah, we will move on, of course. And before that safety car period, I had an inkling that you had damage on that car, because obviously you contacted Baraka, I think, into turn 15. Did you have damage on that car? Was your pace just not there at all?
I just didn't really have the pace. I think not my favourite track, Russia, but somehow managed to pull some pace out of it today. But yeah, second time in a row at Russia where I get taken out of a potential podium or race winning position on the final lap by some bullshittery. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, still, obviously, 6th position is probably not the expectation of your result tonight, but you drove so well to that point, so I think the positives can certainly be taken from that part of the race, certainly. Jack, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, how was it like to get pole? I mean, of course you out-qualified, I think it was either Baraka or Yona by a 10th. I just want to get your insight on that.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it, to be honest, because didn't expect pole for Russia, especially looking after or looking at Yona's pace on the mediums after the first. Some really nice lap. I was actually 700s down on my time coming onto the straight, and I've managed to get the gap. I've managed to 1/4 of a second, so yeah,
well,
not too bad.
Yeah, good job on the pole, but really unlucky during the race.
Yeah, cheers.
Final question from me. Singapore next week. How do you think you're going to get on? Surely it's going to be better luck.
Singapore has been one of my worst tracks ever. I think last game it took quite late on into the game cycle, like April, to take my first ever league race win at Singapore, and I do a lot of leagues, so you probably know that'll be yeah, massive wait for that, but I managed to get a few there, and I've had decent races at Singapore in this game so far, so I think maybe yeah, try and get a good result again. Of course, now a 28-point gap to Baraka, so I need to, or 28 points behind Baraka, so I need to really up the game in these last few rounds, because yeah, I can't be letting the gap go like that.
Yeah, definitely not, and hopefully it is going to be a better race, as I say, next week. Go and enjoy your evening though, Jensen.
Yep, and cheers for the calls, as always.
You are very welcome indeed. I'm going to miss out the next man on purpose, because we are going to be doing a very special thing, of course, for you in just a couple of minutes' time. And then I'm going to move on to Macho. Of course, you finished in P9, and Macho, not the race that you were expecting from your perspective. P7 on the grade, finishing in P9. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. In qualifying, just lost a lot of pace. And then in the race, yeah, I knew I had good race pace, but I was there lap 2 and I couldn't just see what happened, but I obviously ended up in the wall with front wing damage. Lost out 20 seconds because of that, because I pitted for a new front wing, and then Nathan pitted and he was already 20 seconds in front, so yeah, obviously you gotta drive through then. So I was with him the whole race, but yeah, I don't know, man. It was just a bit of a chanceless race. Then the safety car came, and I thought maybe I could like benefit from it, but yeah, my penalty would have gotten removed. But then I got a warning on the last lap, and I just lost all my concentration. Got overtaken by Harm. Was there, didn't want to kill anybody in the group, so I just decided to finish. Well, almost at the exact same moment as Hawk, but yeah, it was just not good.
Yeah, not a great race from your perspective, but before that, obviously, you were driving quite well, I think. You were well up in the vanguard, possibly on for a top 5 finish. Talk us to that safety car period, because obviously that safety car was pretty poor, I think, from your perspective. Did it help you in any sort of way?
Yeah, obviously I was so far behind. Like, I was on for like P9 or something, so with the safety car I got the chance of getting some positions because I was on course with no penalties. But yeah, then I picked the penalty up, or the warning, so I eventually wasn't getting that one removed anymore. So yeah, it did benefit me if I would have driven a lot better, but now it was just, yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, not an ideal race. Hopefully you will, of course, fill that form like you did in Zandvoort, of course. Winning in Zandvoort, hopefully you will reclaim that form, of course, coming into next week. Jack, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
No, I just thought it was, of course,
Oh my God.
unlucky at some parts, but pretty consistent racing.
Yeah, so did you guys actually see it? What happened in lap 2? Because I have literally no clue.
I had a really bad camera angle, I've got to admit, but it looked as if you both got caught in each other. You and Yona just got caught in each other. And it literally, with the physics on this game, it literally sent both of you spinning, and obviously you end up with no front wing, Macho. So I think that's what happened there.
Ah, okay then. Well, we'll... I mean, I got on the jump curve, then I flew in the air, and then I eventually the collision was with Laser or something, FRL Laser or something. In the incident, there was something with him, so I have no clue.
It's difficult. I'm spectating, and it's very difficult to ride on board with all of you at the same time. I'm literally having to stick on one driver. If we can get to a point on the track where it's like a wide-out camera angle, that'd be perfect. Let's have a look. Where is the Red Bull? Hang on, I haven't got the UI up, so I'm trying to see where the Red Bull is. There you are. The best donuts I think I've seen. 10 out of 10. I think the rest of you probably 4 out of 10. Anyways, last question from me, Macho, before we get, of course, to the man of the moment. Singapore next week. How do you think you're going to get on?
Yeah, I quite love Singapore actually, so yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see. Hopefully I get a good result there. Yeah,
hopefully it'll be a recollection of that form, of course, since Abu Dhabi. Since Abu Dhabi? No, we're in Abu Dhabi now, that's why I'm looking. Since, of course, Zandvoort, of course, where you won, of course, there. But go and enjoy your evening, Macho.
Thank you, and thanks for goals, guys.
Very welcome indeed. And now we'll move on to the man of the moment, who I am right on board with perfect 8 out of 10 donuts. Right. Mr. T-Hawk. T-Hawk, how are you tonight?
James, if you get on board with me, I've got a good shot of his donuts.
Let's have a look. Where are you? Are you in the Ferrari by any chance?
Yep.
Well, hopefully there's no contact in terms of these donuts. This is the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen, to be honest, at any end of a stream. But T-Hawk, obviously, fantastic result from you. P7, points on your final race. How do you feel after it?
Emotional and still slightly disappointed because of my one spin that I had, but yeah, I think the final 2 laps that he had, obviously from what I've heard, very chaotic for the guys up front, but I was one of the guys to take advantage of that, so I'm not gonna complain about the last 2 laps. Had some nice battling going on in front of me, went side by side over the line together with Macho. I think it was a worthy send-off for me.
Yeah, worthy send-off, and that is not a worthy send-off, if I've got to be honest. Contact being made, terrible. But yeah, worthy send-off, obviously. You and Macho, fierce rivals, of course, last season in F2, and obviously you drove each other really to breaking point, I would say, in terms of the title fight. But a P7 finish from you tonight, obviously on your final race, still must feel quite nice, because you still carry on that what I would like to call a 100% record of me commentating, and Michael obviously not being here tonight, not giving you the good luck.
I mean, I think I only spun around because Michael wasn't here, so I'm gonna blame that on him. But, yeah, P7 is very good, considering how the race went up until then. I think I gotta thank Nathan personally for crashing out so late in the race. Maybe I could have gotten a P5 without my spin, but still P7 is more than I should ask for, so... As I said, it was really nice. Also that little bit of battling towards the end with Macho was very nostalgic. I mean, it's nostalgic, it only was 1 season ago, but still feels like an eternity ago. Just in general, racing with those guys today, with relatively good driving standards all around, at least from what I can say. Just been a complete honor, as always, as it has been for the last 3 years for me. In the I think just over 100 races that I've done, I think I could always be proud to race against guys that I knew were gonna give me space, but I knew they're gonna be fair to me, still push me to the limits, but still, keep it fair and square, and today was for me nothing different, so I can say it was just, from my perspective, a class act from everybody today.
Yeah, it was fantastic to have, obviously, really good driving talent and obviously really good battles up and down the field throughout. And I think, as a tribute from myself, certainly, you've been in this league more than 1,000 days. 1,020 days, I think you said on the stream, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Just talk us through what those 1,020 days have felt like. Obviously, you've been in many different roles here in FRL, and obviously you are part of FRL that, sadly, is going to be missed.
Yeah. Okay, let's start at day 1 and work our way up. I mean, it's been, if I look back to my kind of driving style and my pace and all that across different games, I think in total on this league I only ever played 2 games, but I played those 2 games to great extents. Obviously we have 1 games and GT Sport. If I go back to GT Sport or even my first ever race in F1, I think it was in March 2019. If I compare that to now, I think for me personally it's quite astonishing to see the kind of difference that I managed to make, and I think that's just something that the league really encouraged me to do over all those years, to keep me motivated to always push to the limits, as if for with those kind of drivers, always pushing your performance to the next limit. Although I gotta admit, this season there have been times where, I think you said it yourself a couple of weeks ago for a commentary, where the motivation just wasn't there anymore, and then you just have 1 great race with amazing battling against those guys, and then the motivation is back there again. So I think that's something that's really unique for this league, to always present you with something that's worth continuing for, be it on track or off track. Something that motivates people to just carry on, and I really don't think you can find anything that's not even close to comparable to this league. So yeah, this really is something unique, and I do hope that all the guys watching it, all the guys that are in this league today, are aware of the fact that what they have is really something quite special that is worth worshipping, and that is worth staying in, because it's going to make you some memories that are going to last a lifetime.
Yeah, more than definitely. I think the memories will forever be etched in your mind, certainly forever be etched in my mind as well. I always remember, by the way, you driving a Ferrari, GT Sport, I think it was, driving there, and I think I came up against you in one of the races, and yeah, it was quite an interesting battle. Obviously, I'm not the person I was back then, which I will sincerely apologise for, but honestly, it has been an absolute honour having you as part of the infrastructure of FRL. I know Ballboy obviously set up this league, and obviously Bunty is now in charge, but you've been a fundamental part of this league for 3 years, and from myself, from the admins, from the stewards, from everyone, from all the drivers as well, we'd like to wish you well in whatever you choose to do next, of course. I know your training starts tomorrow, and I absolutely commend you for starting your training, and hopefully it goes according to plan, and hopefully you do stay safe, and I think that's the most important thing that can be taken out of tonight.
Thanks. The only thing that I hope is that I'm not going to be the only one, because, I mean, you said that, you know, I'm a fundamental part and blah blah blah, all that. I'm not going to call it nonsense, but all those kind words, let's just say. But of course you can't forget that, you know, I'm just one relatively small part in comparison to a lot of guys that are in this league that have been here before me, that are just tirelessly working night and day to make everything work, to make sure that, you know, we regularly come online at 7 PM on Mondays and Tuesdays, to make sure that we have a rule set, that make sure that we have social media, that make sure that we have stewarding, that we have equal stewarding, that we have 4 different tiers of consistent attendance and all that, the kind of work ethic going on behind the scenes. It's just incredible, and that's, I think, just mirroring what I said earlier with the motivation that those guys in this league have. It's really nothing that I've seen in any other league before. And that's, I think, what just makes this league and you guys in person just so incredibly unique.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I consider certainly FRL to be a family, and I'm sure many of you do as well. I mean, I was even here before T-Hawk in FRL, believe it or not, and honestly, the place is going to be much lonelier without you. I think, honestly, as we go through, the family will continue on that family-friendly feel that we bring in FRL. No different to other leagues out there. Honestly, it's been an absolute privilege of me commentating on you this season. I know we've gone quite a way back in terms of arguments and everything like that, but the less we say about that, the better, and this is your night, and hopefully we're going to see some very good donuts. I've got to be honest though, I haven't got the best camera angle to give you the best donut, so I'm running board with T-Hawk at the minute, and hopefully we'll be able to see some very nice donuts from him.
Hang on.
And I think, there we go, that's a better camera angle, there we go, right in the middle of the straight as well, we can see that, and as I say, the final thing for me, it's been an absolute honour to have you in the league, it's been an absolute privilege to even be back in FRL, and it has been absolutely fantastic, of course, seeing you here. As I say, it's going to be lonelier without you, but I know you're going to go on to greater and better things, and I think that's all that matters here tonight. And I'm not sure if anybody else wants to come in and say anything.
T-Hawk was my first ever teammate in FRL, so yeah, got a lot of history. I was back in GT
races.
Yep.
Look at these donuts, by the way. Sorry.
I think, Yona, you were about to say something? No?
No, I wasn't.
Ah!
All I could say is Grazie Hawk. Grazie Hawk.
I'm not Italian, but you're welcome.
Well, you spent
I'm not American either.
The biggest successes came in Ferrari, so yeah.
I'm too young for that.
Oh, but it's been, as I say, that's terrible behaviour from the Mercedes. That's an instant race ban there from the Mercedes. That's terrible. And hopefully we're going to see some synchronised spinning very soon. I ideally want to end it on everyone doing a load of donuts in the middle of the straight, just a little bit further down from the camera angle where we are at.
It's going to be hard because I don't think Baraka's in the party, so you guys got to
Just,
I mean,
you can do
I
now.
started 5 minutes ago, so you can do what you want. I have about to explode, so...
hang on. Right.
I'm on 88% here, but
there we go. There we go.
Baraka might come to ruin that.
You're not getting me out on track to do any because I fail at donuts anyway, so... That's it. And there's a crash. It's typical. But I will... We'll probably end the stream here, I think. It has been, as I say, an absolute privilege to obviously hold this in commemoration of the service that T-Hawk has brought, and I'm sure he's going to deliver the service to his country just as much as he's delivered the service to FRL as well. And I think we will end it on this shot with 5 cars, hopefully 6 cars spinning. I see somebody in the background there in the Haas, or Alfa Romeo, one of the two. I can't see because I'm colourblind. But we will end, I think, with this shot, and it's been an absolute privilege to bring you this to you. Of course, the Russian Grand Prix, well done to everyone, of course, for getting through that race. A very clean race from FRL standards, and a very clean race by all, and well done, of course, to our top 3. Jack, I am going to come across to you, your final thought and driver of the day.
Well, T-Hawk, you're an absolute legend, and you will be remembered. But I have a question. What are you doing? What are you going to do in the army?
I'm going to be joining the mechanized infantry, meaning I'm going to be the bloke sitting on or walking next to armored vehicles, stuff like that.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
But we've had a bunch of races together. Me and T-Hawk, we go way back. Yeah. We've had some brilliant races together. It's been an absolute privilege to race alongside with you and commentate on you, and you'll be remembered in FRL.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like pretty much what I said yesterday. Like, you always be a part of FRL. You always have people here. If you just need someone, like, we're all family here. No matter how bad or how good you are as a driver, you've just been an inspiration to a lot of drivers here, including myself. I hate to admit it, but yeah, what a fantastic driver, and hopefully we'll see you again in the next 3 years, hopefully. But until that time, enjoy your time away. And on that note,
I think we're going to end it there. Macho, you've gone with a massive one-liner there. That was absolutely fantastic. But of course,
Jonah.
Oh no, it's Jonas. Sorry. Oh, you're both Dutch. It's hard to understand.
Dutch people sound the same though.
Exactly. Exactly. I can't tell left from right sometimes, honestly.
There he
Oh,
is.
James, we haven't done driver of the day. Or I didn't say.
You didn't say driver of the day. Who's your driver of the day? It's got to be T-Hawk, surely.
Yeah, T-Hawk.
yeah, it's me for being on the train.
Let's give it to T-Hawk.
I tell you, should we just finish it on the back straight?
I have one extra lap left.
T-Hawk. Yeah, driver of the day, T-Hawk.
Yep, completely agree. T-Hawk driver of the day. His service for FRL will not go. Go down in history as probably one of the best reigns that anybody's probably had in FRL, and obviously, everything must come to an end. But I'm sure there is a new beginning out there somewhere, and hopefully everyone enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you are new to the FRL channel. And I thought I'd say, by the way, we've reached 750 subscribers as well. Always the good joys, and it always happens when new guys decide to join in on the chat, like Kvyat, Verstappen and Relentless Funky Chicken on the FRL F1 stream, even outscoring F2 in terms of the viewers tonight. So thank you so much for everyone, and of course a big thank you to everyone who tuned in to tonight. And if you, as I say, if you did, then obviously you liked it, and obviously everything is going to be hopefully fine. And Dan, if we go to Singapore, of course, next week it is FRL F3 and F4 on a Monday night at 7 PM. Then it's F1 and F2 on 7 PM UK time as well on Tuesday. And hopefully we will be able to see you then. But from myself, from Jack, and from everyone else here, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.